afternoon. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. I'm Kristen. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm offering this class from the beautiful community of Olympia, Washington. So blessings from wherever you are joining me from. This is a gentle class, so I consider this a level 1 class, but please honor your body's wisdom as we move through our asana practice. And if you haven't been to my classes before, we're going to start off with some breathwork and meditation. I'm going to do some live sound healing while you're working with the breathwork and meditation, and then we'll move into our yoga practice. Please offer yourself modifications and variations as needed. I will offer some, but if you're going into a stretch and your body gives you some kind of message of backing out a little bit or a pain message, then definitely back out a little bit. To me, yoga is not pain, so honoring your body's wisdom, but maybe not taking it to that full deepest stretch as we approach the postures. All right, and now you are welcome to be seated for the breathwork and meditation. You could also come onto your back. We are going to start our yoga practice seated. So if you want to be seated for breathwork and meditation, check in with your body for a moment and see what would feel best to you. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. Please join me in expressing our deepest respect and gratitude for our Indigenous neighbors, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. And if you are able to make a donation today, I am on Venmo and PayPal, and I greatly appreciate your support. All right, friends, so find your most comfortable position for breathwork and meditation. If you're going to stay seated, you may want to sit on a blanket or some sort of support so that your knees are a little bit lower than your hips. And if you're coming onto your back, your legs can be fully extended to the floor, your knees could be bent, you could be in constructive rest or reclined butterfly. So just finding that perfect position as we settle into this moment. Just taking several moments to just begin to connect to the rhythm of your own breath cycle. And let's just begin to invite the mind to connect deeper to the breath. So at the end of your inhalation, just noting inside your mind, inhalation. And at the end of your exhalation, noting inside your mind, exhalation. So let's just use this simple tool to begin to guide the mind towards the breath. Again, with each inhale, noting inhalation at the end of that breath, and with each exhale, noting exhalation at the end of that breath. With each inhalation, begin to invite a sense of relaxation to flow into your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit. And with each exhalation, beginning to relax and release, letting the morning go as we settle into here and now. Release your jaw, soften the muscles of your face, relax your shoulders, soften your whole back body. Release the hips, softening and relaxing where you can. And from here, we'll work closer with the breath, moving into a pranayama exercise. We're going to let our exhalation to be 2 counts longer than our inhalation. So we're going to inhale for a count of 3 and exhale for a count of 5. If you have a clear nasal passage today, working with your breath in and out the nose. And if going to 3 and 5 feels too much of a stretch and a lot of effort to make it to that 5, then start with 2 and 4, move up to 3 and 5, and then maybe you even get to 4 and 6. But inviting your exhalation to be 2 counts longer than your inhalation. Okay, so if you're still seated, settle back to your sits bone so core muscles are engaged and cultivate that nice tall spine. And if you're on your back, make any other adjustments so your body is comfortable and you can begin to settle into now. And we'll begin together, inhaling 3 and exhale 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Continue in this way. Count the breath in your mind. 1, 2, 3 as you take a breath in, and 1 through 5 as you take a breath out. We'll incorporate this breath for 2 minutes. Exhale 5. Through the rounds of this breath. And with your next exhalation, we'll release the breath cycle. Once again, coming back to the natural rhythm of your own breathing. If you're seated, you could extend the legs out briefly to bring your opposite leg in front, or make any adjustments so your body is more comfortable. Moving into our meditation. On your inhalation, mentally affirm, I am. And on your exhalation, mentally affirm, fully present. Other thoughts may come to the mind, letting them pass and coming back to the meditation. I am with your inhale, fully present with your exhalation. We'll incorporate this meditation for 2 minutes. 3 more rounds of breath with the meditation. And with your next exhalation, we'll release the meditation. Once again, coming back to the breath. Take a moment to sense any changes in the body or the mind. Let's bring the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. We'll bow slightly to the hands, bowing to yourself, honoring yourself for taking time out today for self-care, health and wellness. Letting this time be a gift and opportunity to consciously and positively connect to your body and breath. This awareness ripple out into the universe. And we'll slowly begin to release. If you stayed on your back for breathwork and meditation, make a couple movements, roll to one side, and then find your way up to seated. And if you stay seated for your meditation, let's extend our legs out so you can shake out your knees a little bit. And then we'll take our feet along the side edges of our mat or wider than our hips as our hands come behind us. Fingertips will point towards your body, and then just sway the legs side to side a few times, releasing our hips from our cross-legged position. Again, remembering to incorporate the pace and rhythm that feels best to your body as we move to our asana practice now. And the next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist. Try to just allow the weight of your legs to release towards gravity as you look down to your left hand, the opposite hand, for a little twist. And then inhale, head and knees back to center, and exhale over to the other side. Legs will land over to your left side as you gaze down to your right hand. Good. Inhale, head and knees back to center, coming to a comfortable seated position for yourself. If that's cross-legged, great. You could be in half lotus. If you are not into cross-legged, you could have one or both legs extended out. So here's where you just need to check in with your body and see what feels best to your body. Okay, palms facing down on the knees. Cultivate that nice tall spine, and then begin to make simple circles with your torso. We're just circling up towards the feet and rounding back towards our hips, opening up in the hip flexors and the low back. Again, you could be moving faster or slower. You could be making smaller circles or bigger circles. Next time you come towards front body, reverse directions. Good, and coming back to center. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Take the hands alongside your hips. Find that nice tall spine as you reach to the crown of your head. And I'm on my sits bone, so I can sense the core muscles engage. We'll inhale the arms overhead into temple. Extend your index fingers. Exhale as you shift your upper body towards your right side. Keep both sits bones rooted to the floor. We're not lifting the buttocks off the mat. Inhale, come back to center. Re-lengthening in the spine, re-reaching through the crown of the head and the tips of the fingertips. You're lengthening in the spine as we come to center. And then exhale as you shift back over to the side. So inhale brings us to center, we lengthen in the spine, and then exhale, tilting towards the side. Try to keep the head between the elbows. If you need to, you could bend your elbows, but try to keep the skull between the arms. And now we'll move into a little flow. So let that left hand come down to the floor as you hinge to the left side for a little side bend flow. Sits bones still are rooted to the mat. I'm going to go a little bit faster here, but keep it to your pace that feels good to your body. Good. Next time you land on your right side, let's hold there together for several breaths. Top palm can face the floor. Try to sense that line of energy from the tip of your left middle finger down to the left sits bone. So try to sense that line of energy all the way down. Find your breath. Inhale back to center, exhale over to the left side. Top shoulder releasing down the back body, both sits bones rooted to the earth, connecting your mind towards the breath. Good, inhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, walk the hands out for a simple seated forward fold. Here we're going to let the body take shape of the pose, so let the shoulders round, let your head hang. You can shake and nod the head, yes and no, to release in the neck if that would feel good to your body. Again, sits bones are still connected to the floor. You could come down to elbows, you could rest your head on a block. And then once you get settled, practice relaxing in your hips and your glutes. See where you can soften and let go, even just a little bit. 5 more nice deep breaths down into the hips and low back. One more full breath. Good. Walk the hands back towards the body. And then extend your legs out so we can shake out the knees a little bit. Come back to a simple cross-legged position. If you would feel comfortable, you could bring your opposite leg in front, so we're keeping our hip flexors evened out a little bit. All right, cat-cow flow with an arm variation. We're going to take the arms in front, palms to the floor. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, we'll tuck the chin towards the chest as we arch back to cat back. Press the spine directly behind you. And then inhale, open the arms, tilt the pelvis forward, heart comes forward, gaze up to the ceiling in cow spine. Exhale back to cat back. And inhale to cow spine. Continue in this way of several more times. Beginning to awaken the spine. Give our immune systems a sweet little boost and opening in the heart center. A few more here. Take it to that pace that feels good to you. Good, last one. And then we'll just come back up. And we're going to float the arms down into shoulder circles. Good, reverse directions, opposite way. Good, and release. Settle back to the sits bones, hands can be alongside your hips. We're going to do shoulder shrugs. We're going to inhale the shoulders up to the ears, exhaling with a ha as we let them go down. All right, 3 times. Big breath in and exhale. Big breath in and exhale. Once more. Big breath in and release. Good. Take the shoulders back to the ears. Roll them behind you and soften down the back body. We'll keep shoulders behind us. Let's return the palms facing down to the knees. And we'll exhale the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale gently back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale gently back to center. Exhale, take the chin towards the chest. Inhale back to center. Exhale, gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale, returning to the left side to hold. So tilting the ear towards the shoulder rather than lifting your shoulder to meet the ear. Relax the jaw and soften the space between the eyebrows. If you'd like to increase in that stretch, you can extend your right arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. And if you'd like to increase in that stretch, extending your left arm out to the side. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale, we'll take the chin towards the chest. And then inhale as you roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, sweep the chin to the chest, over to the other side. A few more times in this way. Slow, mindful movements of the neck, accompanied with a slow, mindful breath. And one more to each side. Good. Take the head back to center. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, or just focusing on a stationary point. 3 integrating breaths here. Try to bring your breath all the way up into the shoulders and the neck. Big inhale. Another nice deep breath. One more full deep breath. Good. Opening the eyes, extend your legs out, shake out your knees a little bit. We're going to do some forward fold and some twisting. So with both legs extended, let's take that left sole of the foot into the right inner thigh. And so that right leg is still extended forward. And if your left knee is high in the air, or that's uncomfortable for any reason, you could stick something underneath that knee. If you don't have blocks, you could stick a bolster or a pillow, couch cushion, or a rolled up towel. If you don't need that support, great. Once we get into the pose, you do want to encourage that bent knee towards the earth. So even if you're having support underneath that knee, you're still intending for that knee to release to the earth. And then let's keep a flexion in the foot of that extended leg. Okay, come back to your hands alongside your hips. Settle back to your sits bones, sensing the core muscles engage. And then let's inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, reaching through the crown as you hinge at the hips, coming to that right side. So the toes here are not the goal, just the lengthening in the back of your own leg is the goal. So your hands can be placed on the thigh or along the thigh, the knee, the calf. Maybe you have a strap, belt, or scarf that you take across that foot. So see what feels good here. You could also use a block underneath your forehead. But here we're going to let the invite more of a flat back. So rather than letting the body take shape of the pose and round the shoulders, let's keep the shoulders back on the back body. So keep pressing your wings behind you. Right foot is flexed, left knee is encouraging towards the earth. Good, nice deep breaths. I'm looking down to my right knee to keep neck in alignment with the spine. 2 more breaths here. All right, we'll transition towards our twist. So inhale, take the hands towards the front foot, back overhead. Exhale, left hand lands at the right knee, right hand behind you. So we're twisting towards that bent knee. And the fingertips behind you, those fingertips will point away from your body, but we're not leaning into that back hand. We're just using that like a kickstand on a bike to help keep our spine nice and tall. Still flexing that right foot, looking over my left shoulder. Breathing here in this twist. Good. Inhale the arms overhead. Well, exhale, we're just going to float the arms down. And now with that bent knee, just take that left foot to the floor. We're going to do our opposite side here. And now we'll take that left elbow to the inner part of your left knee. And I'm pressing that elbow and that knee towards each other. Right arm comes in front. And then we'll let that right arm travel back behind us. So we're just twisting in the opposite direction. I'm still pressing elbow into knee. I'm still on both sits bones. Let the shoulders relax as best as you can. Good, and then just twist the torso back to center. And now I'm going to wrap that left arm around the right knee if you can. Different variations, you don't need to interlace the hands. Just going for an opening here in that left shoulder. Good, release. Extend both legs out, shake out both knees. And then we'll take that all to the other side. So right sole of the foot comes into the left inner thigh. Again, getting support underneath that bent knee if you need it. Take a flexion to the foot of your extended leg. And then inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, reaching through the crown, hinging at the hips, coming towards the fold to the other side. Again, you could use a block here to support underneath the forehead. See if the props could offer support. Encouraging now your right knee towards the earth. I'm just looking down at the left knee to keep neck in alignment with the spine. And then returning to your breath. Begin to notice that lengthening in the back of the leg. Three more nice deep breaths. All right, transitioning towards our twist, we'll inhale, take the hands towards the front foot, back overhead. Now left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you, twisting towards the bent knee. Fingertips behind you will point away from your body, but stay on your sits bones. And I still have a flexion in my left foot. Nice deep breaths here. Breathe into the back body and spine. Good. Inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, float the arms down. And now take that right sole of the foot to the floor. And we're going to take that right elbow to the inner part of that right knee. So I'm pressing those limbs together. Left arm extends out in front, and then let that left arm travel back behind you. Twist to the other side, pressing knee and elbow in towards each other. I still have a flexion in my left foot. Nice deep breaths here. Good. Exhale as you unravel your twist, and then try to grab that right arm around that left arm around that right knee. Shoulder opener on the other side for 2 more breaths. Good. Unraveling, shake out the legs, or extend both legs, shake out the knees. All right, we're gonna come on our knees resting on our heels. Okay, if that doesn't work for you, you can stay just on your bottom. And you could also, if you have tightness in knees or hips, you could roll a towel underneath in between the knee creases or just underneath your sits bones. So see if those props and variations could be of support if you need it. We're going to do another spinal flex and then a little twist. So the hands will start at your knees. We're going to inhale as we tilt the pelvis forward, heart comes forward, look up to the ceiling, and the hands will come up towards the hips. And then exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest as you kind of arch back to a cat back. Hands will return to the knees. So continue in this way. And if this on the knees again doesn't work, you can just do another cat-cow variation on your sits bones. Three more. Good, last one. All right, so if this position doesn't work, I'm going to do a little flow. And so if this doesn't work for you, you could come into child's pose and just rest for this little cycle. All right, so I'm on my knees, resting on my heels. Here's a little flow. Interlace the hands behind your head, step 1. Step 2, come up to your knees. Step 3, take the left elbow towards the floor. Inhale back up. Exhale, right elbow towards the floor. Inhale back up. Exhale into child's pose. So that's the flow, and then inhale, come back up, hands will come to your knees. Exhale, hands behind the head. Inhale, up to the knees. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, right elbow. Inhale, up. Exhale, child's pose. One more flow, take it to your own pace. Slow down if you need to. Inhale, hands come to the knees. Exhale, hands behind the head. Inhale, come up to the knees. Exhale, left elbow. You don't need to touch the floor. Inhale, back center. This could be your elbow towards the floor. Just making what works for this moment. And now let's stay in Balasana Child's Pose for 5 breaths. One more full breath cycle. Good. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders to help yourselves back up. And we're going to take it to table pose. So coming to hands and knees, grabbing any support that you might need for underneath your knees. And if you need any support for the wrists, you could roll up the top of your mat or roll something else up to support underneath the heels of the hands. So see if you need any of that support. All right, aligning your wrist under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. I've got space between the hands as well as the knees. I also have a little bit of hyperflexible elbows, so they might look a little different, but try to keep a little bend in your elbows just for longevity of ligaments and tendons in the body. Cat-cow flow. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, we're gonna arch up into cat back. Lift the belly button to your spine. We are engaging the core here in cat back. And then inhale into cow. Soften the belly as you lift the sits bones and the eyes towards the ceiling. Exhale, arch up into cat back. And inhale into cow. Continue in this way several more times. Cat-cow flow. Two more. Good, last one. All right, come back to center. We're gonna do a wrist stretch. So if you're okay to sit back on your heels, you could also stay up on the knees or offset onto your hip. And if you want a fascial foot stretch, tuck those toes under. Bring fingertips together, rotate your wrist around in circles. And reverse directions, opposite way. All right, come back to table pose. And now looking down at your right hand, tilt your right ear towards your right hip, making a C with your body. Inhale, come back to center, looking between the hands, and then exhale, looking down at your left hand, tilting left ear towards left hip. And back to center. So a couple more times. We're stretching the big QL muscle in the low back. We're also compressing and flushing the organs. We're giving a little stretch and opening to one side as we compress the opposite. One more to each side. Good. Return back to center. Half dog. We're going to walk the hands away from the body. Keeping your arms extended from your body, can you bring your forehead to the floor? With your sits bones lifted in the air. So if that doesn't work for you, you could take your forehead to a block to shorten that distance. And if you don't have a block or that's no way, then take your elbows down to the floor and let your head hang lower than your pelvis. So those are all the different variations of half dog. We want to lift and tilt the sits bones towards the ceiling so we get that lengthening in the spine just like we do in down dog. Two more breaths. And then take it to Balasana with wide knees. So take your knees wider than your hips and set your buttocks back towards your heels. Two more nice deep breaths. All right, walk the hands back towards the body. We're going to work with gate pose today. So if you happen to have a block, grab that. We're going to come up to our knees. And we're going to let the left leg extend out from our bodies, and we'll take the block towards our right side. Okay, so I'm mirroring you. I'm doing the opposite of what I'm saying, so hopefully that transfers over just fine. So here with that leg extended, so the toes are going to point away towards forward rather than towards the edge of the long edge of your mat. So we're not having the toes point away from us but forward. And then tuck the tail so that we're engaging these lower belly muscles over the pubic bone. We want to have that nice foundation. Take your right hand to the block, and we're going to lift and extend the right arm overhead. I'm still pressing my pubic bone forward so those transversus abdominal muscles are engaged. Okay, another opportunity to sense that line of energy from your left fingertips to the outer edge of your left foot. Can you find and sense that line of energy? Good, one more breath, keep tucking tail. Let the shoulders try to soften the shoulders down your back body. I just did that. Can you see that difference? I just shifted them back. All right, now we're going to take it to the other side. So lead with that top arm. Inhale, come back up. Right arm circles over towards the left. Two more breaths. Lead with that top arm. Inhale, coming out, and we'll switch that over to the other side. Take your block to your other side and extend now your left leg out. Excuse me, your right leg out. Okay, left hand comes to the block. Once you get settled here, tuck the tail so lower belly muscles are engaged, and then extend your right arm overhead. adjustments and modifications so you're comfortable, and then connecting to your breath. And we'll take that to our opposite side. Lead with that top arm. Inhale, coming up. Left hand arches over towards the right side. Good. And gently release. We're going to transition up to standing. So making your way up to your feet. We're going to take our feet wider than our hips, or out towards your side edges of your mat for a standing twist. I like to roll onto my toes. You can also just keep the feet connected to the floor. Good. One more time to each side. And returning back to center. Cross crawl, we're going to take the left elbow to the right knee and right elbow to the left knee. Crossing the midline of your body, tapping your opposite limb. Some yoga for the brain. Good. Try some behind you, making sure to tap your opposite foot. And then one set in the front and one set in the back. One more set of each. All right, we're going to work with some warrior poses. So step forward to the front of your mat and then take a large step back with your right foot. We're going to work with warrior one. We actually might just travel through all of them today. So warrior one, you're squaring your hips towards the front. And so here that left hip is rolling back as my right hip is rolling forward. Okay, I'm going to scoot maybe out a little bit. All right, inhale the arms overhead. And now I'm just going to have my hands above me and then bend your front knee. So you still want to be able to see your toes beyond that front knee. Again, here that left hip is rolling back as my right hip is rolling forward. And I've got the outer edge of my back foot rooted to the earth. Warrior one, finding breath. Warrior two, we're going to put the arms to a T as the pelvis kind of shifts towards the side. Stay with your breath. Warrior four, we'll turn that left palm facing up, release left hand towards the ceiling, right hand comes gently behind the leg. Inhale back to warrior two, and then release that front knee, lower your arms. Turning your feet to change sides, facing the opposite direction of your mat. Just gonna face a different direction here. Okay, so warrior one. Now right hip is rolling back as your left hip is rolling forward. Inhale the arms overhead and then bend into your front knee. Shoulders softening down the back body. Warrior two, let the pelvis shift to the side as your arms come to a T. Quick glance down to see your front toes beyond your front knee, otherwise lengthen out your stance a little bit. Breathing, building strength. Warrior four, turning right palm facing up, release right hand to the ceiling, left hand comes gently behind the leg. Inhale back to warrior two. And then release the front knee, lower your arms. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe back together. Good. That might have created a little bit of heat for yourself. All right, we're going to do warrior three for our balancing pose today. So I just want to show, I'll show several variations as we get there. So first just step, maybe spread your toes, and then step forward with your right foot, and we're just going to balance on that leg. So lift your left toes off the floor, so you're balancing on your right leg. You can move around and see how you can balance. Okay. And now we're going to head towards a T. So take the arms out to a T and just begin to shift the weight. You can look down to the floor. You might be wobbly like I am in this moment. I'm going to spread my toes again. Okay, so arms can be out at a T, airplane, they could be at the heart. They could be overhead. You don't need to be at a T, you might be at an angle. Try to square your pelvis to the floor. So finding your variation of Warrior 3 today for 3 more breaths. Good, gently release. And then rotate that ankle you were just on a couple times in each direction. And let's take that over to our other side. Spread the toes on your left foot. And then just begin to balance on that left leg. Moving around a little bit as you anchor that side to the earth. And then just see, you might want to take your hands to your heart to start. Arms could be out at a T to start. Keep a little flexion or bend in that knee to start if you need to. Just always making modifications. Stay curious and compassionate with your body and your experience. 2 more breaths wherever you are. All right, gently release. We'll rotate that ankle a couple times in each direction. Nicely done. And then we're going to come back onto our backs. Using the strength of your core to slowly lower yourselves down. And once you reach the floor, take your feet to the side edges of the mat. Arms will come out to a T and we're going to sway the legs like windshield wipers on a car. Nice little back release. And then shift to a twist flow by beginning to look in the opposite direction of your knees. And the next time your legs land over to your right side, release them to the floor, looking in the opposite direction for a double knee down twist. Keeping both shoulder blades connected to the floor, sensing your breath. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Keep the feet hips distance apart, aligning the ankles below your knees, and you can just have your arms alongside your body, palms facing down at your hips. We're going to do pelvic tilt, so we're just going to rock forward and back on the pelvis. We're not lifting our bodies off the floor like we do in bridge, so we're just tilting forward and back, massaging those multifidi muscles that go all the way down to the sacrum. And so press your low back into the floor. You'll feel the core muscles engage and then tilt the pelvis in the opposite direction. So just forward and back, you'll notice the tiny micro movements of the skull as you tilt forward and back a few more times. This is also an easy way to strengthen the transversus abdominis muscles. Good. The last one. Take your pelvis back to neutral. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, take the right knee towards the right shoulder. Coming into Aponasana Pose. You can interlace on top of the knee, underneath the knee, with a strap, or not at all. So just see what feels good to your body. And then left knee can stay bent, or you could extend that left leg to the floor. If you're going to extend your left leg to the floor, I suggest you flex the foot, so rooting that side. And then see if you want a little tuck of the chin to the chest, or if you want to lift the chin a little bit. See what feels better to your neck. And then just release effort where you can, embrace ease as you sink into the rhythm of your breath. One more full breath. Go ahead and take your right foot to the floor, left foot comes to the floor. Knees are still bent. Take a resting breath here. And then with your exhalation, with your next exhalation, take the left knee towards the left shoulder. Aponasana to the other side. See which variation you'd like for that right side. Do you want to keep that knee bent, or would you like to extend that leg to the floor? Finding your Aponasana on the other side and then sinking into the breath. Soften your face, release your jaw. Deep, sweet breaths here. One more full breath. Good. Keep that left knee at your chest. Bring the right knee to the chest. We're going to make circles with the knees, moving them in the same direction. Again, you could have hands, one hand on each knee, or not. If you need a little more support, just keep the arms and hands alongside your body by your hips if you need a little more kind of foundational support. And then reverse directions with the knee circles. Good. Come back to center. Now we'll do knee circles in the opposite direction. So we'll shift the knees down away from our body, out to the side and up towards the chest. And now again, opposite direction. So up towards the chest, out to the side, and down towards the bottom of my mat. Happy hip circles, happy hip flexors. All right, we'll finish there, and then take the knees back together. We're gonna bring our hands underneath our kneecaps so that our pinkies are facing up to the kneecap and the thumbs are facing down towards our feet. And then let your knees fall out to the side. This is a nice adductor stretch. Sacroiliac balancing pose. We're also balancing out the sacroiliac joint and the back body. And an adductor stretch on front body. So just begin to allow the sacrum to release to the floor. Letting go where you can. One more breath. And take the hands to the outer parts of your knees, bring the legs back towards each other. And now extend your arms out to a T. We'll take a deep breath and we're going to do another twist. With your exhale, let your legs fall over to your left side. You can take your left hand to the top of your right knee as we look to the right for a double knee down twist. Release both arms out to a T. Inhale, knees and head back to center. And then exhale, let the knees fall over to your right side, gazing to the left hand. And then right hand can come to the top of your left knee. Double knee down, twist to the other side. Keep both shoulder blades rooted to the floor, and then breathe into the back of the heart. One more breath. Extend both arms out to a T. Inhale the knees back to center. And then exhale, release the feet to the floor. We're going to do reclined butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. So let the soles of your feet come together as your knees fall out to the side. If that's too big of a stretch, you could take a block underneath your knees, or a pillow or a rolled up towel or some kind of cushion. So see if your body could use some form of support. Arms could be at a low V. They could be out to a T. They could be in cactus arms, bending them at the elbows, or you could have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And just taking some time to relax and release with the breath. Begin to allow the weight of your body to sink into the floor, letting go a little bit more with each exhalation. Noticing belly and chest rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. And then let's take the left hand to the heart, right hand to the belly, connecting deeper to the cycle of the breath and to the rhythm of your heartbeat. And just for another maybe minute or so, just begin to repeat inside your mind, I am at peace within myself. I am at peace within myself. I am at peace within myself. 2 more breaths. Go ahead and just relax the arms alongside the body. We're going to transition into Shavasana, final relaxation. So you're welcome to stay here in reclined butterfly. You could extend the legs all the way down to the floor for a classic Shavasana position. You could be in constructive rest pose where your feet are wider than the hips and the knees come to the center to touch and support each other. You can put your legs up a wall. So see what your body needs for support for final relaxation. Adding any socks or clothes if you could be more comfortable. Grabbing a pillow or a blanket. Shavasana is an opportunity to allow us to integrate our practice into the body, mind, and spirit. And with each breath, allowing that integration as you invite your whole self to come into a peaceful state of relaxation. Slowly bring your attention back to your breath. Deepening and lengthening in the breath. As you deepen your breath, inviting gentle movements to the body, wiggling fingers and toes, circling wrists and ankles. And if you'd like, extending legs out long, reaching arms overhead into a full body stretch. And then use your lower arm to support your head and taking a couple more relaxing breaths on your side. And then using strength of hands, elbows, and arms, lifting yourselves up to a comfortable seated position. And then we'll close our practice with one Om, placing your palms wherever is comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. Bringing the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. Bow again to the hands and to yourself, honoring yourself for taking time out for self-care today. We'll end by praying for peace with one Om, 3 Shantis and 3 pieces. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we carry it into our worlds. Namaste. Thank you Zoom, thank you YouTube, thank you Instagram, thank you Facebook, thank you Life, thank you Yoga. Thank you all for joining me today.